What's up, Dream Media family? This is Zach and Chase. We're out here in Vail Valley. We'd like to make a call to action for all my homeowners in the area. We are your go-to Sonos dealer. Although we are your go-to Sonos dealer and we sell a lot of it, we pride ourselves on taking care of every single aspect of your home technology. In particular, what I'm talking about, guys, is when we design a system, we do more than just sell you a Sonos soundbar, sell you a Sonos amp and call it a day, right?
Yep.
We're looking out for the full scope of what it's gonna be like when you're actually living with these products in your home.
How it'll function day to day.
How they'll function, limitations of that Sonos system.
Problems we've run into before.
We have been selling Sonos for over a decade now and have ran into all the issues. And yes, we integrated into many homes and we integrated in with a lot of third-party systems. I think a primary example is this home here, which is why we're making the video. So in this house, this is a URC control panel that I have in my hand here. It is an interface that allows them to control every single room throughout the house with one button press. But they have Sonos.
It's what they were used to, right?
They have Sonos already in the home and they like it. So it's our job to integrate the Sonos into the whole home infrastructure. So what we're gonna be talking about in today's video is how the different ways that we utilize Sonos, as well as how we integrate Sonos into control platforms to make it one easy to use umbrella to where you can have lighting control, you can have shade control, you can have whole house audio, you can have your home cinema, you can have that Sonos soundbar in your primary bedroom. But one easy to use platform that's simple for guests, your Airbnb, maybe it's your second, third home you're not at very often.
Yeah.
We want grandma to walk into the room and be like, I got this.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about, guys. In today's video, we're gonna take a deep dive on that. If you are interested in purchasing Sonos or anything home theater, technology related, reach out today for your free consultation. We're gonna get into all the details on Sonos after the intro. Let's go, guys. Welcome back, Dream Media family. So let's talk about Sonos. Let's just have a frank discussion. Sonos is a consumer level audio solution, right?
Yeah.
It is an amazing software company, in my opinion.
It is.
That is really where they shine. Their interface, their UI is second to none. It looks amazing. It operates seamlessly. It works well if it's integrated properly. But let's talk about the different components that Sonos has to offer. So they have sound bars, they have wireless floater speakers that go around the house. You guys have seen us really promoting heavily the Sonos for Wishin designs in ceiling enclosure that can hold like your new Era 100 or maybe your Sonos SL, your One, your Play One, those small little speakers that you probably have sitting all around your house right now if you're watching this video. Well, they have all those wireless products. They even have their Sonos Move that's great for putting out on your patio. And then they have their products that integrate with custom installer products, which is primarily what we sell because a lot of our homeowners are discerning and want that higher level of audio output. And that's really the limitation that we run into with Sonos. That and the scale, the size of the homes that we work with. When you get into really large scale Sonos systems, it can pose some networking issues, which is why we have other solutions available for very large homes. When you're building the infrastructure, Sonos does have some limitations. We're building one right now where the homeowner really wants it and you're kind of running into some zone limitations.
We are right at the limit of how many devices you can put on that system. And there are other ways that we can address this so that maybe not every single component in the audio system is Sonos, but you still get that Sonos experience at the end of the day.
Yes.
And that's what I think's really important. So if you can imagine in this house, we have 12 unique zones, right?
Okay.
If that was run off of Sonos amps, because all these speakers were centrally wired when the home was originally built.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. I think we may be losing the customer a little. So if you guys are watching this, what Chase is about to break down for you is the way that we're amplifying this home versus other options for Sonos. So Sonos has amplifiers and they have ports.
Yeah.
Their port essentially is a streamer. It allows you to access your Apple Music, your Pandora, Spotify, Tidal, whatever, and then send the signal out to an external amplifier, which we have better quality options available and more robust options available. Or you can use their Sonos amp for every single zone in the house, right?
Yeah.
You can do a separate Sonos amp with a pair of in-ceiling or in-wall speakers for every single room in the home. We deal with a lot of large homes that have, in a lot of cases, 30, 40 zones.
Yeah.
And when you get up to that level, your home's over, say...
You've kind of grown out of the base platform at that point.
And that's really the purpose of this video, is we're wanting to discuss some other solutions for Sonos. Yes, we sell their sound bars. Yes, we sell their wireless speakers for smaller homes. We sell the amps in the ports and can integrate all of those components in. But at a certain point, it becomes too much for these large homes. So Chase is gonna break down what we've done in this home. Even though it's not a huge property, you're wanting to ensure reliability long-term.
Yeah.
Just like you were talking about in another video that we made, the network and battery backup, how if the homeowner loses power or loses service to any component, he doesn't even know because we have auto reboot and self-healing built in. So Chase, I'm sorry to kind of steal the spotlight from you there for a minute, but I just wanted to make sure they understood what you're about to talk about, which is utilizing the Sonos platform, but a more robust hardware solution.
Yeah. So as we'd stated, we have 12 zones of audio in this house. So if you can imagine every set of speakers, if you're running with Sonos amps, every pair of speakers or every zone in your house requires a separate Sonos amp. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, we're at 12 different amplifiers that have different brains.
All IP addresses.
All connected to the, every time something happens, they're checking in with the Sonos cloud and then coming back, right? So if you could imagine, you got 20 people going to one location and they're all driving in a single file line, it gets pretty sketchy.
Yep.
You put those all people on a bus and you get there, pretty smooth, right?
Yeah.
So that's essentially what we're doing, is we're busing Sonos throughout the house. So
that's a good analogy. I like that one, Chase.
Instead of having 12 different devices, all trying to talk to the cloud, all trying to get back, and then trying to distribute audio throughout this massive home, all in perfect sync, with no delay, right? You may be running into this at your house, where one day you start music on your Sonos system and it's all in sync. The next day, your bedroom's a little off. So you're walking through the hallway.
And those are the type of issues that are not acceptable to us here at 3 Media. Like, the homeowner was talking about a small little issue earlier, and he was just like, oh, you know, but it's not a big deal. And I'm like, it is a big deal to us. It is a big deal. We want to make sure you don't have those issues.
Yeah, there's no second thought. So what we did is remove 10 devices from the system, right? Or you could say 9 devices.
Yeah, not 9 amps that you didn't need.
Yeah. So what we've done here is the homeowner and the homeowner's wife have their own port, Sonos streamer, music streamer only, that's assigned to their name. So it's easy for them to go into the app, click on their own name, and now no one's in their way. So we can have 2 different zones, that same Sonos experience, where you can have as many different streams as you want throughout the house, but we've centralized the amplification, which the HDA series with URC, specifically their 8100. So the Sonos ports feed into the inputs on our URC amplifier, and then URC's amplification, better quality amplifier, a single unit, talking as one to every zone in the house, resulting in the same single Sonos music stream being distributed perfectly down to the millisecond to every room in the home. No delays, no wish-washies, no products getting, you may notice this too, that if they're all running off of Wi-Fi, you have dropouts.
Yes.
We have like a 1-2 second dropout in the audio.
And before I did HDA in my own home, that was something that was happening pretty regularly, where just
those blips.
Yes, I like literally. Sometimes it would be for a couple minutes. You know, a zone would just drop off and then randomly just pop back on.
probably not in sync with the rest of the home at that point, right? So
hit or miss.
Yeah.
Hit or miss, which is just not acceptable. We want consistency and we want reliability. So when now I have HDA, I also run URC in my own home with a Sonos backbone, which I'm actually considering switching out to Autonomic.
They're really cool.
Which is a more, it
Hi-fi
allows
focus,
you, yes,
centralized.
audiophile, hi-fi focused, and it allows you to access your music database natively.
Yeah.
So like instead of having to go into your profile that's saved with Sonos, you just click directly deep dive into
and you're searching on
Spotify, on Pandora, on
Apple Music, whatever.
Apple Music. So just kind of throwing this out there for people who may be considering building a new home or remodeling an existing home and you're redoing your system. I am sold on Autonomic, and I would highly recommend that you talk with our specialist about Autonomic versus Sonos and how the interface will function. I think you've done a really good job because we have so many customers that love Sonos and are already in the ecosystem and sold on it. We've done a really good job of making profiles and easy to access ways for people to integrate Sonos into their platform. And I think what we're presenting today was a really good solution that is kind of a balance of both, right?
Yeah.
We're increasing our quality of our in-ceiling and in-wall speakers throughout the home with the HDA and reliability, reducing any delays or syncing issues with that high quality amp, but still giving them that interface that they're used to.
And the last component is it gets rid of our scalability issue.
Yes.
We're no longer hard limited by device count, by distance from an access point, because everything's wired back centrally. Something that you brought up with Autonomic that I love is that you'll get that similar Sonos experience where it deep dives natively into Spotify. And that also gives you a ton of flex that Sonos can't offer in a system like this, where it needed a secondary amplification to get to the scale of the home reliably.
Yes.
So with Autonomics, you can start your music natively and set volume either from your URC app or from Autonomics.
Yes.
You can pick and choose. Whereas we don't really have that flexibility with Sonos once we pull you fully out of the Sonos ecosystem in a URC home, because when those ports are playing through an advanced amplifier, I can't control the individual volume zones on that secondary amplifier with Sonos, which is what URC is doing.
Yes.
Right? And Autonomics would
and
eliminate
really,
that.
the way that we have it set up, you wouldn't need to.
No, there's no reason to open up Sonos at all.
Per se.
Unless
so
you're
I want to
adding a
make sure
playlist.
it's clear that you guys understand that you wouldn't have to open Sonos separately. But what Chase is saying is with Autonomic, it's cool that you have the option for both natively.
Yeah, maybe you have a homeowner, or a guest that's coming in that is scared by the full app, but is maybe used to a Sonos ecosystem. So you could just get them on the Autonomics app for music, and they're not worried about your lights, your security cameras, your TV zones. But yeah, I did misspeak there. So if you're in any room in this home, and I click on my music, I've got my whole home commands here, as well as individually can click on the Sonos port. And then from right here on the bottom, so all you do in a Sonos app in a configuration like this is going to Sonos and mark your favorite playlist, if that's what
and
you
then
like.
it populates in
natively
URC.
in the URC. So there's no reason to open Spotify, no reason to open Sonos at that point. After the initial configuration, you just go to your playlist button here.
So what I was trying to describe, maybe now that we're showing the interface, you guys can understand a little bit more, is with Sonos, to add that playlist to populate in the URC, you would still have to go into the native Sonos app, add in a playlist, add in whatever you have to add it in Sonos first. Which we'll set all that up for you guys.
Yeah.
But with Autonomic, one great feature is that there is no bouncing back and forth. You can go into URC and just natively add in
and we're talking searching for a specific artist, song, or playlist in your favorite streaming service.
This is
not
huge,
just recalling
guys,
on your favorite playlist.
because this is the main problem that I see there. It's not even that, it's not a huge deal, but it is kind of frustrating that you can't just natively within URC, because I've gotten so used to using URC for everything. It's taken care of 30 different apps throughout my entire home. So obviously I just want to pick up the one platform and use everything. Now that I've added in all of my different playlists and my wife's playlist and they're populated, it's not a big deal. But when we were first setting that up, I had to go back into Sonos and then it'd populate in URC, back into Sonos at URC. Now that it's set up, no big deal, and we can do this for you guys, but if you have the option, consider Autonomics is all I'm saying.
And we're talking 32 zone max with Sonos, but really, me personally, this will vary depending on technicians you talk to. I experience a lack of stability in the platform over 8 unique Sonos devices. So that could be a couple sound bars and then a couple amps in the closet. When you start pushing that 8 zone threshold, you really will start running into some of those flaws with everything being controlled specifically by the network cloud versus locally here. I mean, Autonomics reaches up to 96 zones centrally controlled. And not only that, but if you've got islands across your house and you've got a record player plugged into an Autonomics amp on the far side of the house, that audio will come natively through the system and allow you to access every zone through the house. It's no longer an island. No. So it's that same Sonos flexibility in a more robust hi-fi amp solution for the end user.
Yeah, it's next level, guys, and I've made videos with the guys from Autonomics at various different trade shows. The reason that we bring it up is just because we're getting questions day in and day out about Sonos. We're up here in the Rockies, and it is a great platform. We sell a ton of Sonos, don't get us wrong. And we will continue to sell Sonos and offer full-blown Sonos systems, but we do like to lead with education. We want to ensure that you guys are at least aware that there are some limitations as well as potential issues that could occur with large Sonos systems. Now, of course, if your heart's set on Sonos, just like we wanted to put it into this home, we can do it, and we will try to eliminate any potential issues by putting in a robust and properly set up network first, which
will help Sonos in return.
Will help your Sonos system operate more seamless, but we're getting to the point to where we're consistently getting these massive homes. I mean, 17,000 square feet, 20,000 square feet.
8 patio zones alone across the house. So then,
when we have these massive homes, we're just starting to get so many requests that we want to start educating that, like, yes, Sonos is great. We love Sonos, but like, there's some limitations, and we want to set our company and our customers up for success long term. So the bigger these homes get, the more we're educating ourselves on solutions to ensure that these homes still operate just as efficiently as a small single family 2,000 square foot home.
Yeah, there are pros and cons with all these platforms, and we've gone through the hard work. We've seen these issues in the field. We've addressed them.
Day in and day out.
Oh my goodness, an app update. Then all of a sudden you're rolling a van because somebody made an app update or something. So we've seen this in the field, and that's why we do recommend certain products based on the scope of your home. No two homes are the same. No two solutions are the same. No two user interaction, no two homeowners want the same things in their home.
Which is why we build these systems out with simple functionality that may appeal to your everyday homeowner, but then we get deep and we dive right in and customize every single macro, scene, lighting, audio, video, shades to meet the homeowner's needs. I mean, even just prime example, this home is facing northeast-ish, right? Yeah. The property we were out at beginning of the day on Tuesday was southwest facing. Every single part about the lighting and shade programming for these homes are going to be completely different
based on time of day,
because of the aspect that the home is facing, based off of where the sun is. So that's just one little tiny consideration. I'm just giving an example of how like a home that's south facing versus north facing is going to drastically vary in programming.
So, and we've been through that experience, and we, as you talked about deploying base systems, it's really not a big pain to then upgrade it, right? If they go into their the settings side of this controller, they can request a feature right from a touchscreen, right from their phone app. They don't have to pull up their iPhone, try and remember my name, get my
Chase
number.
can remote in
Yeah.
from his house or at our office, no problem, and make those changes for you without even rolling a truck.
Yeah, and this happens all the time in my house. While I'm using an aspect of my smart home, I'm like, oh, isn't it cool if it did this? And then life happened.
Yep.
Next time I think about it, 3 weeks later. So right when that thought comes up, you send that request in, you're done. Next time you talk to me, you're gonna have that feature live in your home.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we may have been a little long-winded on this one. This was supposed to be about just making the customers here and Vail aware that we're here and we do offer Sonos, but we're leading the charge and raising the bar, raising the level of expectation, really educating this territory. We're getting with all the major home builders in the area and trying to put the infrastructure, the wiring in place to ensure that these large homes are set up properly from the get-go, ensuring long-term that the customers are happy.
Yeah.
If you guys have further questions, you're building your dream home, we'd love the opportunity to earn your business. Guys, we're geeks, we're nerds, we love this stuff and we'd love to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
If you like this video, be sure to give us a big thumbs up and do not forget to smash that subscribe button down below for more. Till next time, this is Zach and Chase with Dream Media. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.